you calling a bitch?
The juncture I am proposing, therefore, is extreme. It is a location wherein the praxis of the United States third world feminism links with the aims of white feminism, studies of race, ethnicity, and marginality, and with postmodern theories of culture as they cross-cut and join together in new relationships, through a shared comprehension of emerging theory and method of oppositional consciousness. Cela Sandoval. As we progress through this video, it is only appropriate to remember that women are represented as a gender, not as a specific ethnicity or nationality. We must realize that not all women are fighting for the same thing. We, as Americans, must not universalize women's issues, because Americans, Indians, and Chicanas all have different experiences that create the feminist movement in their respective countries and communities.
International Women's Day is a global day celebrating the economic, political, and social achievements of women, past, present, and future. The first International Women's Day was in 1911.
Rosie the Riveter is an iconic figure that represented the American feminist movement. This was a monumental change in American women's lives. The fact that women were now in the workforce showed great progress. This comic depicts the differences in the rights that women in America and China fight for. While women in America are fighting for the right to abortion, women in China are fighting to have more than one child. While women in America are fighting to shatter the glass ceiling, women in China just want a roof over their heads. Women's rights in modern China may have gained some footing over the past couple of centuries, but cultural and social foundations that have existed for thousands of years is difficult to change in just a few decades. Therefore, it is only safe to say that China is in a transition period. Historical circumstances and values in India make women's issues different from the Western feminist rhetoric. Indian women negotiate survival through an array of oppressive patriarchal family structures: age, ordinal status, relationship to men through family of origin, marriage, and procreation, as well as patriarchal attributes. There have been two phases of the feminist movement in India, the first being the colonial venture into modernity. This brought concepts of democracy, equality, and individual rights. The second involving women's participation in the freedom struggle that developed their critical consciousness about their role and rights in independent India. Currently, women are gaining rights. Unfortunately, women who live in rural India are unable to progress, and therefore the cycle of women oppression is continued. Chicana feminism, also called Chicanismo, is a group of social theories that analyze the historical, social, political, and economic roles of Mexican-American, Chicana, and Hispanic women in the United States. Women in Latin America, Mexico included, were seen as child-bearers, homemakers, and caregivers. These women had to watch their children, perform household chores, and cook for their husbands. Many men did not consider women to be capable of working outside the home, which is part of the reason why the term weaker sex was coined. American women also had their own problems. They were stereotyped as homemakers, caregivers, and child-bearers as well. But unlike women of minority races, white women largely evaded dealing with racism. Women must continue to fight for equality wherever they might be located. Women are strong and beautiful and must remember they have the strength to fight, however long it may take. Let us unite and fight for everything women deserve to have as human beings.